this should do it. I'm just going on real quickly, guys, not long, just a little bit, because I want to make sure that I respond to a few things from you all. It's very important for me to stay somewhat close to the current events. And the current events, of course, are always depending on let me say it like this. We need to pay attention to what's important. YouTubers, and I don't find any value in it, because I want to hear more from people who actually have information that I can use. People who are able to leak some information. So I'm not that interested in anything that has to do with what law enforcement is saying, unless there is real deception indicating what they are hiding. There needs to be some real avoidance. But the thing is that the statements by police are so carefully crafted, it is not really easy for me to find an angle of how to get up in there. I need to be able to have something from an individual who has definite knowledge in order for me to do more than simply say the person is deceptive. It's important that I am able to use the deception in order to be able to tell where I need to go in my investigation. Hi, Jonah. Hey, guys. Great to have you. Great to see you. Yep, and that's why it's so important, Hawaii Island girl, that we limit and pay attention to what we need to pay attention to. Meaning that when there is anything about, okay, RCMP says that, and they say this, and YouTubers that, and so on and so on. Listen, there's not going to be anything that I can actually do with that. And by do with that, I mean I will not be able to benefit from it, because all it's going to do, it's going to just, force me to do what everybody else is doing. Sort of comment on, yeah, they're not doing anything, and watch them tell us how they're not doing anything. So I can play it for you a little bit in a minute, but the bottom line is that the outcome is not going to be of any interest to us. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Grandma. I didn't go on yesterday because Jana, thank you so much. And I'm also happy whenever you guys bring something to my attention, because again, I don't see a need for me to, let's say hi to all of you. You know what? And that's why we're here. We are here to learn about statement analysis as much as possible. So whenever a new case comes up, I will get better emails than just somebody sending me a video. People will say, check out time stamp, 9 minutes and 37 seconds. This is a definite avoidance or leakage or something like that. This is the best part, when I realize that you guys inspire me back. I love to see you, to hear your analysis on the Amy Bradley case from 1985. Grandma, I will look at it. Please email me. Email me something. Email me a statement. That's the best thing you can do. That's the best. I will get straight to it, man. Straight to it. Amy Bradley, sounds familiar, but I grew up in the 80s, so I remember it vaguely. But you see, most of the things I learned in the 80s or I watched in the 80s, I later realized, the media was, no, I got it wrong. And so did everybody else. That's usually my experience when I look at an old case again. Two things. I got it completely wrong. It's A, and B is everybody else did as well. So send me anything with a statement in it, people. Absolutely. I want to see the statements. And that's really the most important thing. Because I could spend time now on whatever is being paid attention to by everybody else, right? I can put this up here. To those of you who have watched this, so I know Belinda is speaking in this, but Belinda doesn't have guilty knowledge, meaning she's not going to leak something that I really want to hear. At least 3 people's statements I would love go over. She went missing off a Caribbean cruise. Oh, Amy Bradley, yeah. That was 1998, right? I checked it out. And you know what? Well, I haven't looked more into it. Amy Bradley Amy Bradley was in 1998, right? Let me check it out. I think it was 1998 with Amy Bradley. And her father's statements, do you remember the father's statements about how he told us why he knew the door? I will look at it more. 1998, Granville. Yes, I looked at it recently. Yeah. The statement from the father, right? Yeah. No problem. Because I actually did make a video about it recently. And I have some serious concerns about her father's statements. Have you seen the statements from the father in I made a video about it. Hey Stevie, give me 1 second, guys. It's coffee time. Let me see if I find the video right now. Let me see. That's the first. They had written a 4-page letter to her. Grendel, you know what? I made a video about this and a lot of people here disagreed with me and said, leave the parents alone. You know what I did? I think I put it into, I don't know what I did. Let me find it real quickly. And I realized they're not ready for it, meaning that they are so into the, whatever the media says and however the media portrays it, but the father's statements, let me see, Amy Bradley. Remember what the father said?
แอฟเต็มที่กับทุกสิ่งที่รักตัวแอฟใส่ใจตัวเอง
Okay, let me do something real tacky. Let me just share my own video on it. How about that? So I don't have to look up all this stuff right now, which would take me 5 or 10 minutes because I sort of buried it. What happened to Amy Bradley is the name of my video. I think it's public. Let me make sure. Let me see. Yeah, it's public. What happened to Amy Bradley? That's the name of my video. And listen to me. The Amy Bradley case, right? And I guess it's trending because of Netflix and Kim Kardashian. There's some reason that all of a sudden. Okay, let me go straight to the Wikipedia page. And I will show you what I'm looking at right now. And of course, you can watch my video where I'm in a lot more, getting more into detail. But here, between 5:15 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. on March 12th, Ron awoke and checked on his children, seeing that Bradley was asleep on a lounge chair of their cabin's balcony. Remember this one? Yeah, fuck Netflix. I'm not going to look at it because it's just, look at this. Ron told local newspapers, I could see Amy's legs from her hips down, dozed back off to sleep. The balcony door was closed because listen to this one, the balcony door was closed because if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and closed it. How do you know what you would have done if you were in and out of sleep? This in itself is very strange, Grandel. This is very, very strange wording right here from him. So I guess I have a better crowd now than I had during the day a month ago, where people actually, when it comes to Amy Bradley, guys, re-examine everything. And when it comes to all of the false sightings, her brother also, he could have sworn somebody from a white truck. Amy's voice came out of a white truck. They examined that, and there are so many inconsistencies here. There are so many false sightings all over the place, people. But listen to the statement of Amy Bradley's father. Ron awoke and checked on his children. He checked on his children, seeing that Bradley was asleep in the lounge chair of their cabin's balcony. Ron told local newspapers, I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. From her hips down. Dozed back off to sleep. The balcony door was closed. How do you know? Because if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and closed it. Really, you were in and out of sleep, and you know for a fact, but that's the only reason you're giving us. You're trying to portray certainty the balcony door was closed. And you feel the need to explain to us how you know. You would have gotten up and closed it. However, other reports indicated that the balcony door was open at the time. When he got up at 6 a.m., however, Bradley was gone along with his cigarettes and lighter. Why is cigarettes and lighter so important? He said later, I left to try and go up and find her. What does it mean? You left to try. What was your intention at the time? Your intention wouldn't have been to try and find her, but to find her. Once you report somebody missing and there is less of a chance, then try will make more sense. But at the time, you didn't know anything, right? When I couldn't find her, I didn't really know what to think because it was very much unlike Amy to leave and not tell us where she was going. After Ron searched the common areas of the ship, he woke up the rest of the family and told them at 6:30 a.m. that Amy was missing. But there was something else here that had been in this Wikipedia page, and I captured it in that video. I left to try and go up and find her. When I couldn't find her, I didn't really know what to think because it was very, why are you telling us what Amy is like usually? Because you're supposed to live in this particular moment. As for the witness statements and everything else, well, let me go back to what I said before. So I hate to do the circle jerking thing here, but let me just be reminded of what I said before. She just came out to them, right? Where can I find the 4-page letter, Grangel? All of the years later, this happened in 1998. So I'm watching, of course I got it from Twitter, off to...
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We need
shut
to
up.
finish.
Around the time that it happened. Okay, of course, in my video I posted
there
this.
been, but at that time we were packing up. The band was packing up, and I said to her, because that used to be my line. Once we...
You know what I saw in him? The deception part was only when he talked about the intention that he had with her. Other than that, I'm not saying he's a good guy or a bad guy either way, but the father statements are the most worrisome that I have. I never read it, but it's in the Netflix series, I believe. First one, I can check for the timestamp. Yeah, send me the timestamp, please. Daniel going to be on DT this week. Yeah. I will check it out. If he's on there, of course, I will be on and I will capture it. I will definitely want to hear what Daniel have to say it. Anything else that's new? Rewatch the father statements in the case of Amy Bradley, guys, and apply plats, and even you don't need to conclude anything, but make sure. But the photos from the cruise ships his daughter found made me pause. Oh, you see, I missed that part. But I'm not paying attention to the trafficking claim, by the way. I'm not paying attention to it, just to make very, very clear with you guys that that's not where I'm going. He was deceptive about a couple of things, but that had to do with his intentions with Amy.
Finish play, we will go to...
As for witnesses, I don't know what to think. Right? The sightings and all of that. You know, once a case becomes known, all of a sudden people, remember having seen something that,
To launch, on the cruise. Because
So this is the musician she hung out with that evening. Grandel, watch what I'm about to show you
I did
again.
not come back out until I got that phone call. And then I was told, then she said, do you know she was gay? I said, yes. I said, she was smoking a lot. I asked her why she was smoking like this. And then she began to tell me that she's gay and her family found out and they forced her to come to the cruise. Once I say,
Right.
forced her to come to the cruise, I just heard the phone cut off, but it cut off not normal, like a clock. I've watched enough movies with FBI and stuff, tracking and listening. I'm watching. When did the phone hang up? I said there were people listening to this conversation. I didn't mind. I called her back. She never answered.
So maybe the informants have said to her, why don't you have a private company?
She hasn't got back to me. And I decided I'm leaving. I am the kind of guy who like to let things cool off. So I just left her. I'm waiting on her because I know she's going to reach out at some point and say, Dad, I'm sorry. I know it's going to come to pass somewhere, something. Whoever knows, somebody knows.
Other people. I'm sitting at
I don't need to see this now. That's her brother. He looks like Ellen DeGeneres. So I've looked a little bit more into what Alistair, what was his name? Alistair Douglas said, and why he was also okay. Let's read this here. Between 5:15 and 5:30 on. One moment. So we have Amy Bradley, her father Ron, and her brother Brad, and the mother. And so Ron woke up at 2:45 a.m. and struggled to go back to sleep for worrying. What was Ron's problem at that time? My conclusion was that, by the way, he swears up and down the door was closed to the balcony when Amy was up there smoking. And she left with her cigarettes. Why are the cigarettes so important? Did something happen? And did you yourself see the cigarettes and wanted to, if I didn't know any better, I would say it was you who removed the cigarettes actually and the lighter, because that would be insignificant. So what was he worried about if he has two adult children on a cruise with high security? Brad had gotten into a bit of trouble, okay, but yes, she was coming out to her family as being lesbian, right? And I will look at that letter. I will look at it, but I think that was actually something. Also, the leakage of her mom saying, the term fingering. I mean, sorry to be so crass here, but I recognize that as leakage as well. Amy stayed out on the balcony, absolutely. So I think it sounds to me that he wants to make sure that he says the door was locked because he wants to indicate and convince that Amy had left the room after she was up on the balcony smoking. And usually this indicates that what happened, that she didn't leave the balcony, at least not through that door. Yeah, I checked the Henry Brooks thing. I did in one of my lives, I think towards the end, CB. They're there together on this cruise. Ron had won this trip, the father. And, we heard what he claimed, that the family, wanted her to come and she was reluctant and that she may be gay. Okay. Ron woke up at 2:45 and struggled to get back to sleep. And that's an interesting part. He struggled to go back to sleep. Did he go back to sleep? Did he? Or did he not? Did he maybe have an argument? Did he have an argument with Amy? Because she apparently told people she didn't want to go to this cruise. And she came out as gay to her family, and there was some contention. And that seems to be an ongoing topic here. Dad had gotten into a bit trouble. Dad wanted to make sure that was okay. Wow, I didn't know about the letter. Let me see if Google knows something here. Amy Bradley letter from father. Oh. There was no letter from Amy Bradley's father to her, rather father. Did he write to her girlfriend? GSP says she had a lot of issues to deal with life. Yep. Got it. Thank you, Granville. You can send it to me. I will put it up here. Oh, guys, I'm happy about this crowd. Hi, everybody. In case you are late, we're talking about Amy Bradley right now because about a month ago, I made a video about her. But the problem is I published it during the day. And all I gotten as responses was, no, you need to watch Netflix because it was trafficking. But I am still hung up on the statements of the father. The father's statements are very worrisome to me, Amy Bradley's father. And I watched a couple of interviews with them. But the statements he gave originally, and I only use the one where he's being quoted, they disturbed me greatly. Evening, Lottie. Okay, let's hear. Now, we know exactly what time the two of them eventually returned to the family suite. Amy and her brother Brad Bradley. Okay. Thanks to the electric door system, it showed that Brad arrived back at the room around 3:35 a.m. and Amy followed around 5 minutes later. The two siblings then sat on the balcony together, chatting about life. Before Brad turned in for the night, Amy stayed in a lounge chair on the balcony, wanting to sleep off her seasickness in the fresh air. So that was the balcony of the cabin. It was not the public area.
After Brand
In the early morning, restless Dad Ron woke up once again. By the way, this is always a problem when you have a newspaper article, when they say restless Dad Ron. This is also a speculation when you try to, convince or to, you don't know what was going on in Ron's head. You don't know what the discussions between Amy and her father had been during the day or during the week. She didn't want to go on this cruise. Let's make this very, very clear. Let's see. noticing that Amy was out sleeping on the balcony. And we don't know why she was out on the balcony. She liked to smoke, yeah. Maybe she was restless. Maybe she was trying to sleep out there. Maybe she didn't want to go in the room. Maybe there were arguments. Maybe the reason that she was out on the balcony was that she wanted to avoid her parents. And we don't know why the father of 2 grown children would be so worried that his children are out there during a cruise up on the dance floor. What's the difference? You know, they were both grown and they all shared a cabin together because that's what he won in the sweepstakes. But, you know, we don't know exactly what the problem was. And this guy that a lot of people suspect, well, he was deceptive in one way only. And that was about his intentions with her. He wanted to get with her. I have absolutely no doubt. You know, he talked about the communication that they had. And he was, I guess, he played the trumpet or the horns or something like this. And then he asked her, what do you blow? And I mean, if that's not a sexual hint, you know, then what is? So, but he tried to be dismissive about it. He said that she later told him she was gay, and there was a big problem with her family about that. She didn't want to come on the cruise. And, well, several people, and I don't even want to call them witnesses. I want to call them potential witnesses or alleged witnesses. Because once the case becomes public, it tends to be the case that more and more people want to talk. And the tips become less reliable. If you have a case that is not widely known, you will get less tips. But the tips tend to be a lot more solid on the average. When a case becomes very public, all of a sudden people start to remember a lot of things that may or may have not happened. And it becomes extremely difficult to get in there and sort things out and filter things out. Seasick, yeah. She was seasick, and that's why she's up on the balcony, because she's seasick. Okay, well, we don't know why she's up on the balcony. That's the whole problem, guys. And this is also a good lesson in terms of how these types of articles can be quite misleading. He later told People, I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. Dozed back off to sleep. Let me read this myself. I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. He saw her legs. Okay, nothing else. The balcony door was closed because if it hadn't been closed, and this is my problem right here, the balcony door was closed, should be enough. The balcony door was closed. Listen to this. You saw Amy's legs from her hips down. If you say to me the balcony door was closed, that's good enough for me. Because if you saw her legs, you would have been able to see that the balcony door was also closed. I wouldn't ask you how you know. But the problem is that then he says, because if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and closed it. First of all, it's not necessary for you to explain to me how you know the balcony door was closed. But the second concern is now, if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and bullshit. No. You don't know. I thought you're in and out of sleep. How do I know that you would have gotten? I would have. It's not a reliable thing. I would have is not definitive. That is not a solid reason for us to assume that the door was actually closed. Had you said to me the balcony door was closed, I would have believed you. But also, why was it so important to mention that the balcony door was closed? Let's read on. About 6 a.m., something awoke me again. I got up, looked out on the balcony, and the balcony door was open about 14 to 16 inches, and Amy wasn't on the deck. So this is why it's so important for him to talk about the balcony door having been closed. Because this was be an indicator that she had left the room through the balcony door. And that makes me ask the question, did she ever leave the balcony through that door? And then he says, and I had a little funny feeling at that time because it was unlike her to be up that early in the morning. So she wouldn't be up that early in the morning. Remember, when they talk about what they usually do, but all of a sudden they do something different, they may explain to you that something doesn't really make sense. The Proudfoots talked about Sebastian never ran away. He was afraid of ants and bugs. He would never walk barefoot outside of the house. He's not a runner. They're telling us that the story of him running outside of the house makes absolutely no sense. They told us early on with Jack and Lilly, they're not, they don't go out in the woods that far. When they tell you what they usually do, and all of a sudden there's a change, and then they try to explain it, we need to pay attention, guys. Whenever something unusual happens, look at what else happened that is unusual. A little funny feeling at the time because it was unlike her to be up that early in the morning. Let me listen to myself. Okay, so you have an alibi, a so-called alibi now, right? The balcony door was closed because, and this is worrying me, if you know the balcony door was closed, you say the balcony door was closed. And the story, the balcony door was closed. And he says, because if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and closed it. This is unnecessary information. That makes me actually think the balcony door was not closed. You see? And if it was closed, I don't think it was opened by her. It is? I would have gotten up and closed it. Now, this is even more of this. About 6. Hey, Hawaii Island girl, wish I could stay. Gotta pick up kids. I see you later. Oh, you're in Hawaii, obviously. Time zone Hawaii. Got it. Hey, Marley. For those of you who are now coming in, Grandel asked me about the Amy Bradley case. And a month ago, I made a video about her that nobody watched. So now I'm going through some of the parts, and especially her statements of her father's statements. I'm going through them. When it comes to the guy, the musician guy that she was seen with, I'm sorry, guys. I saw one deceptive statement from him that stood out to me that indicates he had, intentions to get with her. There was some avoidance here, right? And I mean, get with her relationship-wise, definitely. He wanted to hide that part. But other than that, I don't see major red flags. I don't see red flags, guys. I really don't. Everybody's pointing the fingers at him. And I'm not saying he's a good guy or not a good guy, either way. But I believe him when he says that she told him that there was a huge issue between her and her parents, her coming out as gay, and she didn't want to come on this cruise. And she supposedly said the family forced her. I mean, how do you force her? I mean, I'm going to get into this. I'm going through only the important parts of my own video that I'm glad to be able to bring up again, because I want this to be on the record, that the statements of the father cause me severe concern. Now, I'm not going to make a conclusion, but I want to go through it with you guys, because it seems like, once again, it's me against the whole fucking world, because everybody that watched Netflix assumes that they know she's been trafficked. I'm not convinced of that. Not as long as I have deceptive statement from a close family member and a little more of a backstory that I cannot get past. And we cannot get past that. It doesn't mean we have to come up. Yes, you said it so well, GSP. He would be a good scapegoat. He's creepy. I agree with you 100%. I do agree with you. You know what I mean? He's a creepy guy. And that's why he is the person, for example, I don't believe that the parents of Summer Wells killed her, but people are angry at that family because they should be arrested for neglect, period, for how they had their children live. But it doesn't mean they killed Summer Wells, right? But of course, this was something that Dr. Phil exploited. He exploits basically how the general public thinks about it. But I'm not satisfied with that. You know, I'm not satisfied with getting somebody arrested for murder, because we are angry with the way that they had treated their own children. And there was possibly some real sinister, deviant abuse there, possibly, that needs to be we need to explore. But what I look at the particular time is only the certain crime that is in question, the potential crime. And what was in question is, how did Summer Wells disappear, right? So it's easy to talk about, have the behavioral panel on and have them sort of fry Summer Wells' mother. No, she had nothing. She did not kill her daughter. I will say that straight up. She did not do that. Terrible family, terrible parents, only interested in their own addictions, only, but we need to figure out what actually took place. So it's not that easy for us to go along with the general public usually gets it wrong, people. The general public usually is completely off, because they're easy to manipulate, and they want to hear what they want to hear. So they don't like this guy, and they say he must have trafficked her, gotten past security, gotten her out, sold her, all of this. No, man. No. Sorry. Nope. Not buying it. AM, something awoke me again. Something. What did? Okay, now we have 6 a.m. Something awoke me again. Also, well, what did it sound like that woke you up? What was going on when you woke up? Was there an ongoing noise? How do you know something woke you up, actually? How do you know you didn't just wake up because you had one of those alcoholic sleeps, right? Where you fall asleep, and then 2-3 hours later, your body is just like, am I really tired, or am I just, you know what I mean? In the early morning hours, Dad, Ron, woke up. What time was that? She got home at 3:40 a.m. So between 3:40 a.m. and 6 a.m., what happened? Now, she was in her cabin. And Alistair, like whatever... So Alistair is the dude that she hung out with that night, the musician guy. Did she go out there to meet him? I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Why would she go out to meet him? She just told him she was lesbian, and he had other intentions. Why did she go out there to meet him again? No, I don't see that happening, people. I see deception in the father's statements. That's all I can. That's where I'm at. Yeah. I scan everything really quickly. But this is a huge red flag here. He would have gotten up because, and then he says, about 6 a.m. something awoke me. What woke you up? You don't remember? Again, you woke up. I got up, looked out on the balcony. And the balcony door was open. Now the door was open.
So I'm writing an essay on cats. Cats in art history. I'm an art history major, and this final is due on Friday.
We don't care.
Same day.
Okay, thank you. About 14 to 16 inches. Now he's being very accurate, and Amy wasn't on the deck. And I had a little funny feeling at that time, because it was unlike... What is a little funny feeling? It's not the same as worry. I had concern. I was... And why did you have this little funny feeling at the time? What was so funny about it? It was unlike her to be up that early in the morning. Well, she was out on the balcony already. And I think she wanted to avoid you. Because remember, he said that he was worried at 2 a.m. or 2-something a.m. and went back up there where his children, his grown children, were up on the dance floor. And apparently her brother was hitting on a married woman and there was something happening, but these were grown-ups. These were adults. Why are you so up in their lives? But he was, because she came out as gay to him, and there was a huge problem with that. So when Amy, he's giving us the reason, or they're trying to give us the reason why she was on the balcony, because of seasickness? I don't know, man. If I'm seasick, I wouldn't want to be on the balcony and see the ocean move up and down. I would rather be inside. I mean, that's just me personally. I would be rather inside and imagine myself being in a moving car or something like that, you know, rather than seeing evidence of the fact that I'm at sea, which made me sick to begin with. Kurt to be up that early. I think Amy did not want to be in the room with them, because I think that when the father said he was worried and he came out to see them, maybe he was getting into Amy's business. And there was already bad energy there, which is why she didn't want to go on the cruise. And I do believe there's a big chance she sat out there. So I don't know if she was seasick or not. Maybe a little bit. To what extent, I'm not sure. But I believe she was up there because maybe she wanted to avoid him. Maybe it was him that opened the door. Maybe he went out and spoke with her about what he was unhappy with. This is what these statements indicate to me. So I don't care if the whole world already decided it was the musician guy who trafficked her. I'm not convinced, people. Actually, I'm quite the opposite. She was a curious girl. I am seasick of I'm not drinking. If I'm seasick, I'm not drinking. Yeah, that's another good point, man. Drinking, maybe her anger came out. Maybe she said, it's none of your freaking business what I do. Yes, I live with my girlfriend and I have my own life and I'm an adult woman. I just finished college. I'm going to start my new job. My life is good. Or I like it the way it is. And you don't have any business telling me how to live. This is very possible. And we don't know. Even if the father in the interview seems like I don't know what he seems like. Well, I don't want to go into detail because then I'm going to go down the behavioral panel road. So we don't know what triggers people. We don't know what the ongoing tension has been. We don't know what Amy could have said to get him to back off. She wanted to avoid the cruise. And maybe there was an argument And she went out on the balcony and said, I don't want to hear any of your stuff anymore. I'm going to find my distance. And the question is, would the father have respected that, right? So, in the morning, a little funny feeling. Okay. Your daughter is gone, you can't find her, and here you had a little funny. This is minimizing too, little funny feeling. You would say, I had a strange feeling or something very, I had this real, something instinctively, I guess I have to watch some. 100%, Danielle. She was not comfortable. Dr. Phil, if I'm going to get more into this, but here's another one. However, other reports indicate that the balcony door was open at the time. Okay, here, this is the part. Okay, one more time. I could see Ron told local newspapers, I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. Those back off. And what is that? From the hips down. Why does he feel the need to say from her hips down? Why wasn't it enough? I saw Amy's legs. And could see is not the same as I saw. You could see. That sounds more like something that's scripted to me. Like sitting there and saying, I would have seen her legs had she sat there. And what's from the hips down? Did you see her legs? Did she stand against the railing? Did you see her fall? Did she go overboard? And you saw her going down? What is that? I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. Why don't you say just, I saw Amy's legs on the balcony? This is of great concern to me, people. This is great. This is very concerning. So when I saw, I think I saw it on Twitter that something was trending because of Kim Kardashian talking about it. But I always figure, if these official versions, And I saw these statements by her father. That was before I heard what the musician guy said, that she told him. So I believe that Amy had no desire to change her life, period. She had no desire to break up with her girlfriend. She had no desire to live a type of life that her parents wanted her to live. And the father, I believe, was growing more and more angry with that. Hi, Elyanka. Did I miss something? Let's see. To sleep. Yes, the alibi, right? The balcony door was closed because if it hadn't been closed, I would have gotten up and closed it. Wait, something good is coming. That door was not, no. However, other reports indicated that the balcony door was open at the time. Yeah, I'm interested to hear more about that. And this is them. This is the father, and this is the mother, keeping daughter's memory alive. That's him right here. And yes, what are the other reports that the balcony door was open at the time? So why did he feel the need to convince us it was closed? What is so important to him about that? Why is it so significant? I was asleep is a popular lie. Absolutely. I don't believe he was in and out of sleep. I believe that's an excuse for selective memory. That's why he said the door must have been closed. Really? A, why is it important? And B, how would you know? And don't tell me I would have gotten up and closed it. Otherwise, you don't know what. You were asleep, dude. You were asleep. You don't know what you were. Stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. Ignore or make sure that their statements either are reliable or not reliable. These are her parents, Ron and Ivor Bradley. So back then, cruise line officials think Amy Bradley fell overboard. Cruise line officials think Amy Bradley fell overboard. Her parents think she was kidnapped. No, her parents claim to think she was kidnapped. Either, there are three possibilities. Accidentally, suicide, which, no suicide. I don't see, or I believe she was looking forward to her first job and with her girlfriend, which the father didn't like. Somebody pushed her. But all of this indicates that there was a huge. That is the direction I'm looking into. The argument. And when did he see her legs from the hips down? The parents, they want people to think that she was kidnapped. Yeah. And it's easy to say that, you're in a foreign country and maybe she got off and there is prostitution there and there's trafficking and there's who knows what. I know. And it's very easy to point the fingers as far away from home as possible and say, well, maybe the police is corrupt over there. They don't really help and they're in on it with the trafficking business and this. But you know what? We don't look for the easy guys. We just follow. Mother is very quiet too, absolutely. And what do you think on this cruise line, Royal Caribbean Cruise? They have a security. By the way, you can rewatch it. What Happened to Amy Bradley is the name of my video that nobody watched. So thank you, Grandel, actually, for bringing this back up because it's been on my mind. But I figured, and now is a good time because there's nothing new about Jack and Lilly. There's absolutely nothing new. And I don't want to see the video of this RCMP. That's not going to help me anything. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to watch the other segment where Belinda is in it. But Belinda doesn't have guilty knowledge. So this is not really whom I paying attention to. I hadn't paid attention to Belinda other than she was there for me since very early on, answering some of my questions that, where she gave me some information because of my questioning that she hadn't given in public yet about the empty shed and a lot of things that stood out to me. But when it comes to what Belinda says in public, it's not something that I'm zooming in on whatsoever. The same with Seth Rogers. In the beginning, a few people said, why are you so hard on Katie and Chris Proudfoot? What about Seth? You know why I didn't pay attention to Seth? Because I don't need to think about it. The moment that there is deception, I notice it immediately. I don't know exactly yet what it is about. But had there been any red flags in Seth Rogers' statements, I would have picked up on it. That's why I didn't look at Seth. So when people try to send me stuff about Cole's half-brother and the car, all of these, excuse me, sorry, no, I have no time for this. And there, I don't know how people find time to make things up, because I have enough. I don't even have time to examine what I have. So the door is a barrier in his mind between him and her. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another thing, Jonna. The door was closed, the door of communication. He may have opened the door and said, you're not hiding from me, you're not avoiding me. She was closed off, people. Mentally, she was closed off to him. She didn't want to go on that cruise, and I wish she hadn't gone. And this indicates to me that he stopped taking no for an answer, that she said, listen, I'm over 18. I'm not a criminal. I'm not hurting the law. I'm not doing anything that's illegal. And this is what's gonna be. And you better shut up. And I'm gonna sit out here right now and finish my third pack of cigarettes. So you stop tripping, because when he said he was worried and got onto the dance floor at 2:45 a.m., he had 2 children over 18, people. Bullshit. That's not a source of worry. What did she do during her college years? People stay up all night. She was, that makes absolutely no sense. Maybe a mother is more likely to be like that. But come on, dude. System, do you think that anger and control is absolutely right? Absolutely right. So he doesn't, whatever the impression that people get of him, you don't know what triggers people. Some people can be very mild-mannered, very reasonable, but then you bring up that one thing and they are triggered and they turn into a completely different person. And this could be the case here. When he came to, his daughter is never going to be married, never has grandchildren. And I think the fact that she didn't want to go on the cruise means she was done with the arguments. She was through justifying herself, explaining herself. She had nothing left to say about the topic. The only thing she did was, do what she wanted to. I don't see it to be likely that all of a sudden... Ilyanka, hi. I can't. You know why? Because it's been on my mind for about a month. And I want to make sure that I add it all. I will breathe and I will talk slow. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And from there, somebody traffics somebody who is an international traveler, has the money, the security system, the door. I am sorry, I don't see that happening. But I know it when somebody tries to lead me into a certain direction and look at something that is a lot less than her being in the water for one of 3 reasons.
เพื่อรับนางฟ้าสาวสตรอง 2,000 ปี
Okay, guys. No, I'm going to speak fast. That's how I speak, because I want to get it all out. I want to get the facts out. Because I don't like it when people talk too slow when I watch a video. Okay. Hips down. By the way, Wikipedia is okay to use? Yeah. Did he see her going down? Hips. Did she stand next to the railing? And did he see her leg from the hips down when she went overboard? That is something that I'm looking at. You see what I mean? There's a reason. I could see her legs. He didn't say I saw her legs. I could see her legs from the hips down. I believe at one point you did see that. I do believe you. But I don't believe it was when she was sitting down and smoking her cigarettes. If she even was doing that, she may have been ready to go to sleep. And she may have said, I don't want to sleep in the cabin with them because my dad, he already came upstairs when I was on the dance floor, and he may have argued. He may have, you know what I mean? So she probably, she wanted distance. I believe that's what she wanted. Even though they are from time to time, but that's why I always go back to the, always look back at the references here. But this is what I wanted to usually listen to, listen to from me talking. I left to try and go up and find her. He left. So he talks about leaving the cabin. This is also unnecessary. I talked about this. And go up and find her. I didn't really know. Well, I know what to think. Why would you have? I didn't really know what to think. I didn't really know. What is really? That's one of Janie's favorite words, right? She didn't really have any pictures of her grandchildren, except she had a whole bunch. I didn't really know is more likely avoidance, trying to avoid the fact that he did know. He did know why he couldn't find her. When I couldn't find her. He only tried to get up and find her. His intention would have been, I gone up to find her. I got up to look for her. Because at that time, he wouldn't have been aware that she was nowhere to be found if he didn't know what happened to her. And I left to try to say I left. That's also unnecessary. I went to find her. What did you leave? When you say I left the house, okay, what did you do in the morning? I went to 7-Eleven. I left the house to go to 7-Eleven. That indicates something happened at the house that you don't want to speak about. I left is an indicator right here that something took place at the cabin. And when he says to try and go up and find her, again, he talks about going up. That's not necessary, people. He left. Remember what I played to you guys from Peter Hyatt, how it's different? When you say, I went to the store, or I left the house and I left the house to go to the store. Because something in the back of your mind, you're thinking about that happened at the house. Something you're avoiding to speak about. That's possible too. Maybe he went to the upper deck to look at the water. Also possible. I would love to have the footage of what exactly he was doing when he was supposedly searching. I would love to know to see that. I can guarantee you that what we see would align with what I just pointed out and make a lot more sense. If something doesn't make any sense, it means that they're telling us the wrong story. It will make sense when you look at the real story. When you understand what exactly happened, then every single movement makes sense. Everything that they do. Why did Katie Proudfoot's alarm ring at 6 a.m. and at 6:03 she already was on the phone with Chris to say Sebastian is missing? It all makes sense when you understand that Sebastian had been long gone by that time. And she wasn't patient enough to hang in there and let enough time go by to make it sound plausible that she would have spent 10, 15 minutes at least searching for him. Especially when people talk about that she was not a concerned mother and that it would be normal that he was down in the kitchen looking for food or looking or trying to make breakfast, as she put it, and all of that. How many people would use language from the hips down? Okay, let me think about what I ever did, but let me think about from the hips down. What does I mean? First of all, hips is kind of like an intimate kind of, an intimate area. Let's say it like that. I can't even think of it right now. Time to think. You would run around, look for your child, but because it was very much unlike Amy to leave and not tell us where she was going. Right. However, other reports indicate that the balcony was open at that time. Wait a minute. I believe that could have been the last thing he saw of her. The last time that he saw Amy could have been her falling into the water. It could have been, guys. It's a possibility I will look at. Now there's going to be more people. I'm getting back into this one right now. I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. Was a strange way to word it, right? Dozed back off to sleep. Okay, I couldn't have done anything. The balcony door was closed. And that's also a strange, this is also a potential alibi. Because if alibi in quotation marks. No, the door was not closed. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I believe she probably said, Kim, that she wants distance and decided, I'm not going to sleep in there because I believe her father was arguing with her. I believe he went upstairs where Amy and her brother were both on the dance floor, meeting people, talking, drinking. And I believe he was bringing up her lifestyle again and again. And there was very bad energy. And that she said, I'm going to sleep outside on the deck. She was avoiding him. And there's a chance that he confronted her and says, no, Missy, you're not going to get away from me. We are going to talk about this right now. This is what Dad had a meltdown, very possible. His language, guys, and again, I am not watching the Netflix thing. I watched the interview with the musician guy. That's what I watched. And I didn't see any deception in terms of him having guilty knowledge what happened to Amy. He was deceptive, I think, twice. When he was asked about, his intention with her or what they were talking. And, when she said, oh, you do well with the instrument he plays, trumpet. I don't know what he played. And he said to her, according to him, well, what do you blow? Yeah, I mean, if a dude asks a female a question like that, it's a little bit. So he tried to later avoid certain types of. He tried to avoid after that to mention what his intentions were with her. That was, of course, to sleep with her. But he also said that she told him she was gay. And that her family had a big problem with that. And she didn't want to come to the cruise. And according to him, she said they forced her, but I would like to use the term talked her into it. Or maybe pressured her with finance. Who knows what tactic they used? But forced, I'm very, very careful with the term like forced, right? Very careful. Maybe that's how she felt, but that's a little bit too definitive. Yeah, Ilyanka, absolutely. Boyfriend, he won't let me say 3 words in my own sentence before he talks over me. Mike, personal statement analysis works personal and criminal level. It works 100% personal. And when people try to talk over you, get rid of them for your own sanity. And if you break up with your boyfriend and regret it later, do not hold me accountable for that. If you think I made a mistake, please. I want to make this clear. I made that mistake before, that I analyzed somebody's boyfriend's statements. And now both of them hate me. But eventually she broke up with him again, and this time for good. And then she apologized to me for going again. But it's still, I'm avoiding this kind of stuff. Seriously. I'm serious. That's why I say, man, I don't get in, especially when children are involved. And you want to know, and you ask him, are you cheating on me? And first of all, if when he says, no, I'm not, okay, it's a lot better than if he writes a long paragraph and doesn't give you a straight denial. And you don't need me for that. You don't need me for that. I've already talked about that. It's as general. It doesn't matter if it's criminal or personal. So you can already draw your own conclusion. And by the way, a lot of times I get these questions. I can tell from the emails already that the ladies who sent me this already are convinced that he's doing it. They just want me to be the judge. Say, yes, you're right, because people have emotional going back and forth. No, he wouldn't do this to me. Oh, but, anyways, I got to keep it really real. I got to keep it really, really real. I cannot be any different. And if I get to the point where I have something to say and I have to hold my back so much it freaking hurts, I'd rather say nothing. Or I send you a video of what, anyways. Yeah, man, anyways. Wow, it's a time of night when people are thinking about things. Give me 1 second. I need more coffee, man. Stay tuned. And this is why I'm on right now at this time of night, because I didn't feel like I had anything, but thanks to Grendel, I do. And then I realized, okay, at this time, the people that are on are, okay, let me read your comments. Coffee, yeah. Absolutely. Yes, I see you is your name, right? How is that how you would like me to address you? I see you. This has been ongoing, and there is a pattern of control, in my opinion. I believe there's a pattern already in place of a father who's overbearing and has a way of wanting to control his children, both of them. Not only in terms of setting rules, but in terms of setting the pace of what he wants them to become, how he wants to see them. He mostly butthurt, he wouldn't blow his trumpet. Absolutely. Yes, Sandra, that's what I was getting at. Exactly. That dude, the musician guy, he didn't get any, for the lack of a better terminology. Okay? And that's why he was deceptive, I think, twice, or practiced avoidance rather. There was avoidance. He didn't want to say what he wanted from her, which is pretty damn freaking obvious. You know, because when you tell a woman, ask her, what do you blow? I mean, it's already like, you know, I mean, to call this leakage would be an understatement. You know what I mean? I believe, and you know what? From that, I realized what his baseline is for deception. And I didn't notice it in other parts of the interview. Was he a creepy guy? Is he a good guy or a bad guy? You see, we have our thoughts. I believe he's the type of guy that he, you know, and again, I try to stay away from these, well, if he's a creepy guy, he would be a great scapegoat, the easy scapegoat, right? And I'm pretty sure Netflix was all about him. Only him. Different women each cruise. Yeah, absolutely. He had a lot of different women. And that line probably worked before. I said it before. When guys do stupid pickup lines, creepy ones, you may call it creepy. But normally they use them again because they worked at least once. So I do believe, what do you blow? He said it so casually that I know he had used that line several times, and I believe it worked before. That was his success line. I blow the trumpet. What do you blow? You know what I mean? So whenever, even when I knew, God, whenever I hear like the cheesiest and stupidest pickup line, you know what it tells me? It tells me it worked once. At least once. You know? And people go back to what worked before in a situation that they're not prepared for. What am I going to say? How am I going to, you know? And they think about what worked before and they go there very quickly without thinking, without examining, without analyzing her own statements first. You know, not that you have to analyze, but it's you have to be sensitive in terms of listening. You understand? Listening is what it's all about. So they go to the killer line. And that's exactly what he did. And that's why it was such leakage there. Because he said it so many times, it didn't seem like anything special to him. But it indicated exactly what his intention was with Amy the whole time. And he expressed that he was displeased, that she said, I'm a lesbian and my father doesn't like it. I wasn't going to come. So he was not happy. Yeah. But you know what? A lot of these pickup lines, they come from, bar life or events where there's a lot of alcohol involved too. So, and a lot of people have a hard time differentiating between, how much was alcohol and how much of it was me being a poet. Right? They're not gonna say she was so drunk, she just, they're gonna say, wow, I'm a fucking wordsmith, dude. Gee, who can say no to me, That's how they think. They wanna, hey, Run with Scissors, nice to have you back. We're talking about Amy Bradley. These guys, they're like, I know how to talk, man. Had nothing to do with alcohol. They'll tell you that. When you say, oh my God, she must have been so drunk to fall for this. No, dude, you don't know me, man. I know how to talk to women. Anyways. But what he wants us to think is that at 3:40 a.m., we know Amy came back. So we have 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? So in these 2 hours and 20 minutes, the restless dad, he woke up at some point. And he had already... What would work on you? Already woken up at 2:45. When did you go back to sleep?
I went to...
So
what did he do? Well, an hour later, the kids came home.
I want to show you one more thing, guys. I don't know where it is. Oh, yeah. Give me a second.
Feeling at that time because it was unlike her to be up.
And so why was she up? It never happens, but this time it happened. Why?
So what time did you wake up after 3:40?
It's so unlike her, but she's up early in the morning. Yeah, right.
Between 3:40 and 6.
He was trying to hit on her because she also wanted someone to talk with. She told him she wasn't interested because she was gay, opened up to him about her fears of the family cruise. I agree with that. And that's a dangerous situation sometimes to be in. When you feel the need to talk and you talk to somebody who has different types of intentions. I can see that absolutely. But the thing is that this was not, he wanted to get laid and that's it. He was not happy he didn't. And that's it. He had a reputation maybe, and that's it. We're talking about the disappearance. We're talking about the father statements right now, right? Not what he's all about. If he's not a good guy, then, it doesn't matter. See, that's why scapegoating is so dangerous, because scapegoating will oftentimes lead us to ignore certain statements that we really need to look at. I can't stand pickup lines in general, man. I'm just not good. I was never good with that, even though I was always advised as a teenager, hey, man, this is what you got to say. And I always felt like, there's such a difference between the persona and who I am or how I feel. And, the best thing I think is always just to be you. You know what I mean? And if I don't know, it's too much work for me, man. Just like it's too much work for me to say I need to come up with a clever thumbnail or a title. The titles come to me sometimes. And this one will be probably renamed to Amy Bradley Part 2. the father's statements. Yeah, that sounds good enough, right? Very simple, to the point, so people know what to expect. And a picture of Amy Bradley. Because I don't want people to come here and think that it's all about Jack and Lilly and I got something new, which I don't. And of course, I want people interested in the Amy Bradley case to get some information from me, And the people that come to me tend to be the ones who realize that we're not getting the full story. And they want more information. Fake never got me far. Fake, exactly, hi, how are you? Oh, just hi. Sometimes I just say hi. And, the outcome, I don't know. Who cares? I mean, not who cares, but, Plus, I am very much into my own world anyways, right? I'm interested in what I'm interested in. I'm unable to really fake somebody's interest. And I see how hard some dudes work on it, man. Like, oh, so what's your sign? And then later they complain, they talk with the guy friends about how, how stupid that was and how, oh my God, it's all about how to manipulate women or people in general. And it's kind of like, it's just bad energy for me, man. I only connect with people by accident anyways. When I don't expect it and I just talk about things I'm into and interested in. And some people are, some are not. So I imagine a beach, going to the beach. It's 5 minutes away. Okay. I'm carrying a blow dart. Statement analysis pickup lines. There's leakage all the time, people. In pickup lines, there's leakage very often, unless they just repeat something that they have been coached to say by somebody else. But even then, if they've been coached in many different ways, and coached, of course, in quotation marks, there's also a sense of leakage that can kick in in terms of what people pick, which line to pick, which is most comfortable for them, right? And it's not the one that's furthest from the truth or furthest from who the person is, because it's not easy to disconnect from your own feelings and, I think so too. And it blows my mind whenever somebody falls for some of these lines, But I think it's not necessarily the lines that they fall for, but maybe that they just like the guy and he doesn't necessarily know why she would like him. And he wrongfully attributes his success to his pickup lines, that he thinks the line is what did it. But I think that women, of course, have more of an ability to recognize intentions, right? So when say women's intuition, it's really a woman's intention detection. Intuitive intention detection. That's what it is, IID. So I'm going to phrase a bunch of things, coin a bunch of terms here when they come to me in these conversations with you, because I was never really able to properly identify what it is. I would say in women's cases, intuitive intention detection. You know what I mean? And it doesn't require thought. Yeah. I will still look at the case. By the way, Kim, send me about the, if you have any certain statement about that woman in the case in South Africa where the daughter is still missing, if anything stands out to you, I would love to see that. Because it requires a lot of, this is the easiest thing. Then I know where to start. That beats the 20-minute backstory, no matter what channel it's on. Like I say, with this father, I didn't watch the Netflix special. I didn't watch it, guys. No thanks. No thanks. I already know what's in it because enough people previously have tried to argue this video with me and told me, no, but according to Netflix, it was trafficking and so on and so on. So why do I want to watch this? I'm not going to. A single woman working as a bartender. Yeah, I guess when you're a bartender, okay, send a message, but just the timestamps. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I mean, if you're a bartender, you will probably have dumb line overload. I mean, what bartenders have to listen to? And they got to be all smiles. Okay. Wait a minute, I got a voicemail. I don't know yet if I'm going to do it right now or not. Let me finish this. So he said the family forced her to. Yeah, maybe I do have Netflix, yeah. She didn't want to go. Maybe she was reluctant. I'm just looking for any. I just have Netflix on my phone because it's, just, yeah. Because I wanted to watch, what was the name? Happy Gilmore Part 2. Type of language that stands out to me. She was, according to Amy's mother, Ivor Bradley, Amy had to be persuaded to join her family on the Caribbean cruise ship. Okay, Rhapsody of the Seas. She says she was reluctant about going up to the railing, but her dad and her brother both said, come up here. We'll hold on to you. Crystal clear. Hold on. Listen to this. Who said that? I missed my own stuff. Let me go through this. She was reluctant about, okay. Amy Bradley was an all blah, 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 blah. According to Amy's mother, Ivor Bradley, Amy had to be persuaded to join her family on the Caribbean cruise. There we go. Rhapsody of the Seas. She was reluctant about going up to the railing. Listen to this. But her dad and her brother said, come up here. We'll hold on to you. Isn't that interesting? Hold on to you. Interesting choice of words from the mother, right? Especially considering what we just spoke about. Had to be persuaded. Wow. How did he persuade her? Did he write her a letter? Did he send her some gifts and say, it would be so wonderful for you if you could join us and everything is forgotten and you live your life and we love you? How did he And by the way, this is not from Amy's mother. This is from the journalist. But the choice of words had to be persuaded. That means there was no other option, right? If we believe that the reporter is doing her best to properly repeat what she was told by the family. This is very strong language, people. She had to be persuaded. Why? And why didn't they say, you know what? Your brother is happy to go. Your brother is happy to be on a cruise and, free cruise and free, who knows if they get, now they have to pay for drinks, I guess. Or, no, I think the drinks were included probably, right? You know? He didn't need to be persuaded, the brother. He was happy to go. Why do you want somebody who doesn't want to go to begin with? Why? Strange, right? Because especially if you're at odds at the time, why don't you and the brother just go enjoy yourself? And why were you forced to persuade her? She's a grown woman. I'm a Leo also, Grandel. You say my brothers and my youngest daughter and closest girlfriends are all Leos. Youngest daughter and her closest girlfriends are all. I'm Leo also, August 21. Did she come out to them in the cruise or before? I think before, right? I mean, according to the musician guy, it was before. So there was already tension, people. And I believe that was the ongoing subject matter of their conversations. Right. She had to be persuaded. Persuaded. I don't like that term, guys, because if I have nothing to do and you take me on a cruise and you say it's paid for, we're going to the Caribbean, we're going to see a bunch of different countries, and yeah, why not, man? Oh, all expenses paid? I'm there, dude. You know? Heck, I take my laptop and everything with me and make videos from there. And be like, instead of my plates billboard or my whiteboard, you're going to see the ocean and islands disappearing in the back. It's the only difference. But I'm there. Why would I have to be persuaded? Because I wouldn't if I don't like the company I'm going with. If it's people that I don't feel comfortable with, and your family you're supposed to feel comfortable with. There must be a reason why she wouldn't enjoy it. I would assume. Unless you're in a relationship where you have, I don't know. If there's something holding you back to the... No, it sounds to me more like she wanted to avoid the company of her own family because of that. And I believe the guy, what he said. I believe him that this is why she was smoking so much. I do believe that, people, because I've been through these phases where I just didn't even realize 2 or 3 packs were gone after 5 or 6 hours. I've been through that. And looking back, yes, I know what was going on in my life. I didn't even notice how much until somebody pointed out, oh my God, you're smoking a lot, dude. You got to slow down. You know what I mean? Of course, then I realized there are other ways to, go in a sauna, swim a few laps, go to the gym for half an hour or an hour. There are different ways to reset yourself. But I remember like 30 years ago, yeah, that I can see that. She was how old? 23? Exactly. And she knew she wouldn't. She knew what her father was like, I believe. And this is what people overlook. This is so important, guys. So important. They had security on the ships. They make sure their guests are safe, people. I don't care what these islands or these countries are known for, that they landed their, in which harbor they landed the ship in. These people on these, I mean, you know, it's easy when you mention the names of certain, you say, okay, here's a hot spot for traffic. No, man. Her dad and her brother both said, come up here, we'll hold on to you. You see, this can even be leakage right here about knowledge, what happened to her. You would have to hold on to her. And that's very interesting, this language. Did they collect insurance on her? Good question. I don't even know. But if anybody can answer, do you guys know if they got insurance money for her? You see, this is the right place to answer this question, because now I don't have to watch a freaking Netflix special and do a bunch of Google searches to find out that little bit of real information that I need. Odd thing to say, we had to hold on to her. It's a cruise, absolutely. And no, why would you persuade somebody to come join a cruise if that person has a real problem with seasickness? I believe, listen guys, you know what this sounds like to me? Like an intervention. This sounds to me almost like a planned intervention, and by intervention, I mean from their point of view. We're going to get you on that cruise. You are trapped with us, with your family. You cannot run out of my house and say, I am done talking about this. I have my life to live. Goodbye. To me, everything indicates, even that she talked to this guy, she's not into guys. He had the intention to get with her. She wasn't going for it. Period. Yet she kept talking to him. Why? Because she wanted to avoid her own family. She was trying to be free. She was tired in that morning, I believe. But she still preferred to sit outside and sleep there. I believe she regretted to come on to the cruise and wanted to avoid her family. This is what it indicates, guys. I don't celebrate my birthday anymore because I don't care. Some days are worth celebrating for no reason, and planned days, I don't like to plan anything. I don't like to plan that a week from now I'm gonna feel like having a party. And it's stress to me planning anything. I don't do it anymore. If it's a surprise party, yeah, of course I roll with it. But I also able to be able to say, listen, guys, you know, this is not my decision. So, you know, so I don't have an obligation. I don't have to, you know, I don't like planning anyways. He wouldn't accept her life choices, and it pissed him off. I believe that this is major avoidance on her part. She's avoiding her family. She doesn't want to talk to them. She knows already her dad's pattern, I believe. She knows what he is like, how he speaks. She knows it, guys. And she was done with it. You know, I believe she was absolutely 100% done with it. Especially she'd been to college and she lived the life she wanted to live there. But all of a sudden, now it's like, did she live with her girlfriend? I don't know. But I think now, after college, it became clearer to them that this is what she wanted, right? So did you meet a nice guy? Are you gonna get engaged? Are you gonna have kids? Are you gonna, no, mom or dad, nope, that's not what I'm into. What do you mean you're not into that? I believe after that was the time when she was ready to start a new life, a new job with her girlfriend and so on and so on. I think that was, you know, for what that was to her father, I believe, a huge problem that became so huge for him that no matter what setting they were in, no matter what they talked about, this was a topic that kept coming up. And there was zero level of happiness on that cruise between them. None whatsoever. Absolutely zero. I believe that she just, she wanted distance. She avoided him. That's why she sat up there on the balcony. And I believe he came after her and said, we're going to talk right now. That's what I believe, guys. And everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And unless proven guilty in the court of law, and everything I'm stating is my opinion only. But you see, if this is what the language leads me towards, and if it leads you towards something else, feel free to state it. But this is exactly the language. Yeah, I don't celebrate either. I don't feel a need to. And of course, I celebrate New Year's because, especially where I, you know, of course I celebrate New Year's. That's really the only thing. But that's because the parties are already going. And it's not about me. I don't want a party to be about me. I feel uncomfortable with that. Because people expect things from you. And I don't like people to expect anything from me. You know? Because it makes it like, that turns my actions into reactions. I like actions. I don't like reactions. I don't like it when I'm reacting to an expectation. So I prefer not to say anything until I get a call when, oh, as I saw on Facebook, it's your birthday. Yeah, so what about it? It's now already 5 p.m. A little bit late to plan anything. And I'm cool. I don't need to do anything, man. You know, people celebrate their birthdays, but then they complain about getting older. What's up with that? Such a contradiction, man. And I just don't have this. New Year's Eve is amazing where I live, by the way. And that's just somebody else's flow I can go with. Yeah. And there's no need. I know that, you know, Prince, the singer, talked about being a Jehovah's Witness. He said that's why I don't really age, because we don't celebrate birthdays. And to some degree, I agree. Because when you think about your age all the time, then you think about how are you supposed to act your age. And there's no such thing. Norm Macdonald talked about it before. When he was a kid, a 70-year-old man would walk on a stick, walk really slowly, just sit somewhere in the corner and stare into, you know, and he said, I'm wondering, did people act like that because they thought they were supposed to act like that, being 70 years old? It's completely different now, you know what I mean? Which is what I'm really happy about. There were certain celebrities, I believe, who had a big hand in changing people's minds, and you know, they were a good example of aging well. Sean Connery or Jane Fonda or you name whoever they were. You know what I mean? That people were like, hold on a minute, man. I may be 60, but that doesn't mean I have to be a hermit like Janie and, you know, and talk all bitter and shit. How, what? 50 what? I can't read. Wow. You see, many of you, I would have guessed a lot younger people. A lot younger. But that's an energy thing too. But so a lot of people here are my age or actually close to my age. Not like Janie, yeah. And Kim, I had no idea you have a college-aged daughter. I'm very surprised by that as well. Very surprised. 1978, okay, well, minus 69. Summer of Love. And Apollo 11. Whatever you believe about it. I can't believe I've made it this far. This is really cool actually right now to be just able to watch the chat. Yeah, I was born a week after that event. My middle name, it's the reason that I don't have a middle name. Because my mom watched it on TV and she was going to name me Moon. My middle name was supposed to be Moon. Michael Moon Damon, and my dad said no way, and then they haven't agreed and were asked, okay, we put on the birth certificates. My mom said Moon, and my dad said it's not going to be Moon, and they asked, what else? Well, give me an alternative, let's talk about it. And my mom said it's Moon or nothing. My dad said that's okay, it's nothing, so I don't have a middle name. Which I don't need. You don't need a middle name unless you're a serial killer, right? Anyways, off topic. Language, holding on to you. Yeah, hold on to you. We will hold on to you. Did nobody hold on to her? Man on the Moon, oh my God. Cosmo, like Kramer. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm 56. I don't know. I would have liked this as a middle name. I would have had no problem with it. MMD. But before they had other options that I wasn't satisfied with either. That I wasn't satisfied, wouldn't go by. So keep it simple. It's I have a hard to spell last name to begin with, so it's pretty good to have an easy one as a first name. Yeah, well, my dad messed it up. And it's actually weirder to not have a middle name at all. Oh yeah, Sun. My mom was ahead of it. Yeah. Right. No, otherwise they had like Amshel or something like that as a middle name. Or something like, I don't even want to, it's okay, I don't need a middle name. At least I have a story to go with, right? Associated. Sun cycle. It's about energy, Marley. Energy is everything. When people ask, people always say, what do you find attractive about a woman? Or people, ask, what's your type if you're a woman, And to me, the answer is always energy. Energy is what draws you to somebody. Everything else falls into place from there. You know what I mean? It's not the makeup you're wearing or anything. That's just, the energy is everything. Because energy continues. and leads somewhere, you know, and you don't always, but anyways. It's that time of the night where we talk about these things. I understand. Why you think I wait so long to make my lives, man? You know. And granted, I will get more into this. I will watch it. I will watch it. At least I watch the timestamps because it's like going descending time stamps. So I'll figure out all of that. I mean, it's easy to figure out, but I will get more into this Amy Bradley thing. And I'm so happy you brought it up because I have a couple of other videos about Summer Wells and JonBenet Ramsey that really got zero attention. And in the case of JonBenet Ramsey, I have never been so sure of a case before, ever. And I'm really, you know, I don't watch a lot of things, but I'm like, holy crap, man. That's the one that bothers me where I say, this should have 1 million views, the JonBenet Ramsey one. But, you know, when people are not interested in the truth because it's a little too boring or because Burke sued already CBS and all of this. And, you know, when that happens and Dr. Phil did his hatchet job of, Dr. Phil knows what happened, in my opinion. But so I think that was a part of the settlement that they had Burke and Dr. Phil and, you know, my brother was a detective for Boulder County. Oh, wow. Yeah, Grandel. I'm pretty sure, I mean, I have no doubt that what I stated in that is what the police officers talk about in private, because there is no other option for me. 100% Grandel, 100%. I show you why. The embedded confession by John Ramsey and the reliable denial from Patsy stating it wasn't her or her husband. Highly reliable, highly reliable. Yep, I have no other options. And later I watched the CBS special actually, and I tried to show some on a video and I had to remove it because YouTube is very much, I think CBS in general is very much against any type of energy and connection. Yep, energy connects or disconnects, period, Marley. No, I didn't see the latest season. You know what? Once I take my time with any kind of analysis and I'm done with JonBenet Ramsey. I'm done. The only thing I can do later on, I can go through an older video or I can summarize what I've already, but I did it, you know, I can only, like once I'm done, I don't need anything else. And it's a process to get there, right? I'm far from done with Daniel because I don't know what happened, where he took the kids. But when I'm already looking in a certain direction, I don't need other theories because it comes to me as it comes to me. I don't force it, you know? Hi, Ida. I don't know what happened. You have the notification bell on? That's different from subscribing. You turn on the notification bell. Which case? Oh yeah, with Daniel, absolutely. Well, I need to know which way he went in the ATV. That's really it. But right now, hi Lisa Riesel, right now, all of the things that are sent, that are coming my way about the case and new videos, I don't see any value in them because it's just the police telling us we don't know anything and people on YouTube talk too much and there's nothing of value. So Tina Watson case? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, Danielle. Let me look it up. Tina Watson, where are we at? Send me a statement, a specific statement. If that's my entry, 26-year-old American woman from Helena, Alabama, who died while scuba diving in Queensland. Oh, yeah. Interesting. You have a statement from the guy? I hate makeup, by the way. Makeup is, I don't think women should wear makeup. My mother never had makeup. She never had her ears pierced either. I think it's energy is, actually it covers up your real energy. I know I'm getting away from the topic now, but I don't care. I'm just reacting to you and I'm happy to. I'd like to see my cover. That was it, not their honeymoon. Yeah, a river near Earl's 100 Acres at Daniel. I will look more into this. Believe me. I haven't gotten on anything on this yet, Grendel. You see, I got a video overload, and I sort of tuned out. The scuba one, yeah. I would love to. You know what? Every time I get the right statement, that statement is the entry point into the case, right? When I first saw Malaya's interview, Daniel's interview, that's how I enter a case. Not by listening to what the media says about it, but what they are stating. I stay away on purpose from other people's opinions, even if it's mainstream media. I get a little bit of a backstory. Okay, 2 children are missing. Okay, it's not the real father. He's okay. Just a little bit, as needed. Usually it's my favorite when I can ask the questions rather than, the media deciding what I need to pay attention to. When I'm able to ask people, hey, so can you tell me, and usually by voice, mail, and then I fill in my blanks. And then I feel like I'm ready to go. And then I kind of know, like, oh my God, this is really, 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 wow. So don't let the media, don't listen too much to what the journalists conclude. You know what I mean? Sandra, which one? The scuba? Sandra, send me something. Was it their honeymoon with Tina Watson? Please send me a statement. Send me the best statement, or send me anytime. If you send me a statement, I cannot say no to it. When I get a documentary, I don't know where to start. I get bored within 2 minutes, right? When I hear Durwood, I know he was gonna lie. His intention, my intention detection was already on high alert before he even made the claims. I knew he was going to lie to us. He indicated that with the way he introduced himself and the way he started to speak. Well, the same way that in the recent interview, Sherry Papini said she's going to tell us her side of the story. I already knew there was nothing important about that I'm going to listen to. So let me see if I can finish this one.
Yes.
Unless you guys want to talk about something else, I can always get back to this later.
It stands out to me. It almost sounds like somebody being held captive, right? But I mean, here's a picture of her, right? I guess that
on John Ramsey, he didn't do it, but he covered it up, in my opinion. Burke did it, in my opinion.
That's maybe her with the guy.
Did I play to you the embedded confession from John Ramsey? I played it before, right?
Musician back then.
before he gained a lot of weight, maybe. That's them, possibly. So that's her and the guy, the musician guy, before. I mean, now he looks, of course, a lot different. He's a lot older now, gained a lot of weight. But I think that's him. Yeah, she got along with him. She was with him. He thought he was going to get lucky.
ไม่โอวัลติน
Can you see this? Oh no, it's horrible, right? Yeah, you can see a little bit. That's not my point. So, Jonna, hey Verdinkum, Jonna, how about this? Next time I will get, I never did a live in which I mentioned JonBenet, I think. So what I think I'm going to do the next time, yeah, should I go into JonBenet Ramsey a little bit? Let me show you the embedded confession. No, and anonymous identification. JonBenet, the ransom note was written by her. And when Dr. Phil asked Burke about it, it indicates also he knew it was his mother who wrote it. So that Dr. Phil interview with Burke already helped me realize it was him. But it wasn't until Patsy's and John's statement that I became convinced. One moment. Give me a second, people. I wished I could show you the CBS special, but even 1 second.
And that
You want this one again? Give me a second.
That Burke, that's the police theory, that
staged the crime scene to be something it was not.
Okay, now listen to John Ramsey. Remember when I talked about embedded confessions? Listen to this one.
that's the police theory, that Burke hit his sister and killed her. And then we, to protect Burke, staged this whole strangulation, ransom note craziness. And that theory would not make good grade C crime fiction on television.
Okay. Did you catch it?
And then we, to
Crime scene to be something it was not.
that's the police theory, that
That's the police theory that. Remember the Madeleine McCann one? I play it one time and then I'm done. That, listen to only this part.
Burke hit his sister and killed her. And then we, to protect Burke, staged this whole strangulation, ransom note craziness.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. And he told us also the ransom note and strangulation was craziness. There was no strangulation. That flashlight was used And he didn't say he said he hit his sister and killed her. Let's look at the wording. Hit his sister and killed her. He didn't say murdered. He didn't say killed his sister. Hit his sister and killed her. The action first is the hitting. And the hitting killed her. And I believe him. Yeah, crazy accusations, absolutely. And I believe you, John Ramsey. I believe you 100% on this one. That is exactly what took place. So, and there's another statement I went into earlier. Thank you, Verdinken. And you know what? I can make a 10-minute presentation for the members where I go more into detail. Because here I realize that I am reacting more to what you guys are saying. And I don't want to overload your attention span. And Amy, Bradley, look at the father statements, guys. Look at the father statements. I will finish that one now. Burke had so much rage. And Burke was the golden child. But when Patsy talked in the 911 call, how old is she? She's 6, she's blonde, she's 6. The blonde hair stood out again and again. And she even bleached, according to a former friend, she bleached the 6-year-old girl's hair to make it even blonder. And I do believe that Patsy thinks that because at the time Miss America used to be blonde, that her career, her own career was cut short because she didn't have blonde hair. So when JonBenet was born and she saw her daughter with blonde hair, that's when her dreams came back. To her, it was extremely important that she had blonde hair. The flashlight, absolutely. And the flashlight, it matches with the wound on her. And remember the 2 spots she had? They didn't know what it was. It matches with Burke's train track. So they believe that actually Burke poked her with the end of his toy train track to see if she would react, because after he hit her, she was out. And you know, a grown-up would call 911 and say, "Hey, my daughter or my sister is," but that was his way. Oh my God, what did I do? He wanted to see if she's still alive by poking her, and it indicates that when she was poked by it, she was already dead. After she already died, he poked her to try to get a reaction because he realized what he had done. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the flashlight and all of these things, to the letter, yeah, this is not even that important to me. I mean, it's very important. I mean, it's so obvious to me that the mother wrote this. It was a female, for sure, that wrote it, right? And again, I will go. Anonymous author identification is a very lengthy process, people. And I did it when nobody knew if the messages Charmaine had gotten from Daniel were actually from Daniel or not. So I didn't need to ask for proof. So I applied what I knew about it in order to be comfortable enough to say, yes, this comes from Daniel. And it's a lengthy process where if you go to Stephen Pagano's blog, I mean, it is endless reading about it, which I hate, because there is a way to simplify things and apply Platts to that as well. You know, but I have to first go through that and see how I can do that in the best manner. Second best child he was, yeah. He was the golden child. He was her first child. And when she was born, the pineapple, she probably snatched it from the bowl. She snatched a piece and he ran after her, in my opinion, and then hit her with a flashlight. And you can watch more on CBS, the case of JonBenet Ramsey, where there's a lot more detail provided about the case. Janie mentioned taking the 289. I believe they took Lansdowne Station Road. That's possible too, Violet, because remember, it's not Lansdowne Station Road, it's Lansdowne Road. Something about Lansdowne Station Road is sensitive to Janie. I agree with that. You see, this is what I need, this kind of feedback. This is what's good, people. Thank you, Violet. I will look more into this one. And you can also send me the exact video or the exact article with the timestamp, and I will look more into it, because I've gotten a lot of these videos of the current comments from RCMP, from a spokesperson. I'm not going to watch it, guys. I've watched 2 or 3 seconds and I already know it's not for me. I'm not going to waste my time on it. I already know it's going to be deceptive. Yes, Grandel, they found pineapple. The autopsy, she had pineapple, a piece, just very little pineapple in her system. Burke was eating pineapple. His fingerprints were on the spoon and the bowl. And I think Patsy's also were on the bowl, if I'm not mistaken. But JonBenet's were not. So what they think is that she went downstairs, she came by, he was eating pineapple, and she snatched a piece from the bowl because her fingerprints were not on there, and ran away. He ran after her and hit her with a flashlight. And it's that simple. They did, absolutely. And that's why, remember, Burke was asked in the police station about the picture, the bowl with the pineapple. What is this? What do you think is in there? He said, I don't know. I don't know. Even though he had eaten pineapple the night before. A major avoidance, because he was coached not to talk about the pineapple. And stupid ass Patsy was saying, pineapple, the autopsy is not always right. Sometimes the autopsy can be wrong, and sometimes there's a mistake, you know, doctors ain't always right. Isn't that how she talked? The pineapple was a very sensitive part of it, because I do believe her snatching the pineapple could have been what upset him. And remember, John Ramsey at the end said, we need time to figure out why this happened. Not who did it, but why this happened. Know what I mean? I can get into the pineapple more. I have something about that. I mean, I was going to get back to Amy Bradley, but I can't do this again. But I think we are on the right track with Amy. I have to see if this is an easy one where I talk about JonBenet, about, listen to this ditz.
Mrs. Ramsey, you are the one who last saw her. Yes. The pineapple. What about the pineapple? Yeah.
Don't know if that's significant or not. All we know is what we told the police. And that, oh yeah, I remember I gave her a pineapple before she went to bed. Next question. But that's not what happened.
Yeah, it is, idiot. That was too silent. Patsy. Here we go.
ช่วงนี้งานเยอะมากดูแลทั้งสวนแถม
This is Burke. So Burke is showing the bowl with the pineapple right here. Can you describe that to me? It's a bowl of, and mind you, that night he had pineapple This is major avoidance here. He refuses to identify it as pineapple. Something.
Looks like glasses or tea bag.
This is a perfect example of a child being coached, not knowing what they can say, when they can say it, how to word it. And I guess the ransom note part.
Are you aware of these different theories that are out there? Theories that you killed your sister, theories that your mother killed JonBenet, and theories that an intruder killed JonBenet. Those seem to be the three camps that people talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we were suspects. I didn't know they were camps, I guess.
We were suspects?
And these are people that post online. The shorthand is RDI, Ramsey did it, IDI, the intruder did it, or BDI, Burt did it. Do you know the theories that they set forth in saying that your mom killed JonBenet?
I don't know the details, but I know the ransom note, they think the handwriting matched.
Have you seen it? Have you read it?
I don't think I've read the whole thing. I've definitely seen pictures of it, though.
Did the handwriting look familiar to you at all? Had you seen it ever before?
No. I feel like the listen carefully is very distinct, and I've never really seen that.
No,
I've never really looked at it closely because I'll see it and kind of get...
You're the only one who hasn't looked closely at it, I know.
Taken aback.
Major avoidance.
I can...
Major duping delight, and the duping delight started kicking in at the age of 9 and sort of became a part of who he became, right? Because at the early age, that duping delight set in and it kind of grew with him, for the lack of a better terminology.
It's not something I really want to look at like a lot, you know?
Right. Does that look like her handwriting?
Honestly, looking at that,
does that look like her handwriting? It's a yes or no question. Honestly, looking at that, no. I want you to be dishonest, like Judge Judy would say. When somebody says honestly, she says, no, please be dishonest with me. That's why we're here, to be dishonest.
She would always bug me about having good handwriting.
No deny that it's her handwriting. Avoiding the answer, she would always bug me about having good handwriting. So?
Handwriting, and she would like make me rewrite stuff to try to get me to have good handwriting, and I think it's too sloppy.
And Dr. Phil claims to know about statement analysis, but he concluded that Burke didn't do it. So much for that. And I gotta be careful, because every time CBS, I have to later delete the video or get the video out of there anyways. And I did before talk about Patsy. Let me see if I find this. Her reliable denier. I hope this is it.
Do it. So we all got to start working together from here this day forward to try to find.
Okay. Patsy.
Go retest.
How is it impossible?
I did not kill my child.
I did not kill my child. I believe you.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
I didn't have anything to do with it. With what? What is it?
I'm not talking somebody's guess or some rumor or some story.
I don't care what you're talking about.
I'm talking about
I don't care what you're talking about.
scientific evidence.
I don't give a flying flip how scientific it is. Go back to the damn drawing board. I didn't do it. John Ramsey didn't do it, and we didn't.
I didn't do it. John Ramsey didn't do it. Clear denial. See if you can do an interview with Wade, Mike. I don't think he'll talk to me. He seems to know a lot about it. Well, if anybody has a connection out there, yeah, I'm open for anything. But you know what? I'm not gonna go through the hoops to kiss their asses and try to get to them and try to convince them of anything. If they want to, it's very distinct handwriting, but don't recognize the handwriting. Yeah, that's exactly it with Burke. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. There is no case I'm surer about than the case of JonBenet Ramsey. There's no other case, in my opinion, that's more obvious than I've ever examined myself, whether I worked on it actively or not. And I've made, I think, 4 videos about it. And I'm happy that you guys are talking about, not always something new, but I want to make sure that whatever my findings were is going to reach more people. And again, I'm doing these lives at this time of the night because I prefer to have this type of audience I have now. And at night, people are able to think about what they learned during the day and try to filter it and try to make sense of it all. And this is what night owl theater is the best for me. Okay, so let me read what you wrote, Ilyanka. Can you also send me a message in case I miss it? It's very distinct handwriting, but don't recognize the handwriting. Yes, I agree with you, 100%. That's exactly what he said. That's why I said earlier, I already know from his interview on Dr. Phil, it's her handwriting. Burke told us, Burke told us that the pineapple is a very important, there's major avoidance. Yeah, Amy's father had her declared dead. How long after she disappeared? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, people, at all. Let's finish this one. According to this archive, she was last seen by her father, and that is absolutely. She was last seen by her father, Ronald Bradley, on the balcony at around about 4:30 a.m. Yep. Tuesday, she was dozing on a deck chair with the balcony sliding glass door closed, he said. Look how important this for him to convince that it was closed. I'm moving on, and because all of this can be rewatched, that I just brought up with Burke. And again, I have 4 different videos about JonBenet Ramsey, and nobody watched them, but this may change now because I am 100% convinced that I got it right. Finally, after all these years, and I couldn't believe how, and a couple of these videos I made before I watched the CBS special. And the CBS special hit it home even harder. The case of JonBenet Ramsey, absolutely amazing. And of course, Burke sued the network. She was probably on a diet. Yeah, Diesel Weasel. I think that probably there's a big possibility that maybe Patsy Ramsey, let me go back to this. Maybe Patsy Ramsey was putting her on a diet. If she bleached the girl's hair blonde, then who knows what else she did to increase her chances of winning these competitions. You know what I mean? I completely agree with you. There's a big possibility that Burke didn't have to watch what he eats. And, you know, JBR, JonBenet Ramsey. Yes, I have 4 videos, guys, on JonBenet Ramsey. And I had to remove part of the CBS special that I added to there. And I would love for more people to be able to watch it and see it, you know. But again, this is not my concern. It is my concern, but it's not an active one. It's not my active concern. My active concern is that I get it right. And then whether or not people watch it, it's up to people. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to put any type of energy into promoting something. None whatsoever. You know, I will maybe rename this video once it becomes published. So people know it's about Amy Bradley and JonBenet Ramsey. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And keep it very simple as a title. Amy Bradley and JonBenet Ramsey Revisited. Very simple, right? I don't need an AI image. Okay. Interesting, right? He thinks she's kidnapped and still alive. She's trafficked somewhere in a bar in another country, but he declares her dead. Interesting. Was there life insurance on her, by the way? Does anybody know if Amy Bradley, there was insurance? And yes, Kim, send me also that on the case in South Africa. I would love to just see one statement. All I need is one statement, the right statement that sticks out to you the most. From there we'll go. John, she didn't have pineapple, but Burke did, and pineapple was in her stomach. The heavy Maglite torch was on the bench next to where he was sitting. Yeah. Allison, you got it. Pineapple was in her system. So they believe, they believe, and I believe that she may have snatched a piece of pineapple and run away from him and ate it. Just one piece. And that set him off. And didn't he hit her with a golf club before? He was second fiddle, man. Burke went from golden child to her mother's obsession with the beauty pageants caused her to completely neglect her golden boy. And I believe he had extreme anger towards his sister in general. That's what I believe, people. Extreme anger. And listen to the father's wording. Hit his sister. He said, his sister. There is a need for him to paint their relationship as something better or something closer than it became. That's his sister. I can't believe Burke hit his sister. He said, we need to figure out why this happened. Not what happened, why this happened. Oh, the 911 call? Listen, wait, I will do the 911 call. I can go back to Amy later. You guys wonderful in terms of telling me exactly what I need to. You see, I had this all covered before, but it's over 4 different videos, right? So I'm not. Okay, so I'll show you 2 things. Give me a second, okay?
นิสสันเรามุ่งมั่นสร้างรถยนต์
Discover state. One video is called Patsy Ramsey 911 call statement analysis from 7 months ago, and I'm going through the whiteboard here. Once again, this is one of my older videos. Statement analysis, the glass sliding door. What's going on there? We have a kidnapping. Okay, let's go back there. Let me show you the 911 call. Check this out. It was 5:52 a.m. when Patsy Ramsey called 911 from a wall phone in her kitchen to report her daughter was missing. Listen to this. She was standing only feet away from where the ransom note had been found at the top of a stairwell leading to the basement where JonBenet's body was discovered 8 hours later. Give me a second, I need some coffee. God, I'm so happy that you guys are interested in the same thing as me. Okay, almost finished, guys, after that. Police. So she said, police, police. She called police. She called 911, but said police. Okay. What's going on there, ma'am? She said her address. She didn't want to speak too much. She said her address immediately. That shows me she was very prepared, because usually they ask, okay, let's see. Let's be specific here. What's going on, ma'am? Usually it's the police that say, what's the address? She already had that ready. She was very well prepared. Are you guys still okay, or should we continue tomorrow? Let me know. The ambulance, not, yeah. Did you see the video with Wade talking to mention kids could be in the... We have a kidnapping. We have a kidnapping priority. Make it a kidnapping. Not I cannot. Okay. We who? Her and her husband. They agreed upon it. We have a kidnapping.
Hi, can you explain to me what's going on, okay? There's a note left in our talk.
Priority. There's a note left. Pay attention to the note. Believe my note. Good night, Robin. You guys all ready to go to sleep? I can continue tomorrow, people. I'm not going to, you know what I learned? I realized one thing. I am not going to let whatever material I have decide how long I'm going to do that. I can always continue later and cover more, because if you're overloaded right now, I'm not going to push it. You know what I mean? I can finish this coffee or I can go to sleep. Either way, it's all good. So nothing is worth you forcing yourself to stay up for, period. I think I'm going to stop now, people, and say good night also. Let me hear this.
A note was left in your daughter's phone. How old is your daughter? 6 years old. She's blonde.
6 years old. She's blonde. Good night, Danielle. Okay, good night, everybody. I will see you next time, okay? This is it. This is it, people. Everybody is tired, and I'm going to continue tomorrow. Well, really? You made coffee? Okay, wait.
6 years old. How long ago was it? I don't know. I just have a note.
Again, the note. And my daughter's gone. What does it mean? The second time she said my daughter's gone. How about I can't find my daughter? What do you mean she's gone? That's a very final statement to make. Are you not searching for her? Have you given up on that?
Does it say who took her? What?
Does it say who took her? What?
Does it say who took her? I don't know.
No, I don't know. Okay.
There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom note? It says SBTC. Victory. Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Ramsey? I'm the mother. Oh my God. Please. I'm sending an officer over, okay? Please. Do you know how long she's been gone? No, I don't. Please, we just got out. Is she on here? Oh my God, please. Okay, girl. I am, honey. Please. Take a deep breath, please, okay? Hurry. Kathy.
Just what happened after Patsy hung up? The phone has been debated. Okay, she hung up the phone, but the phone didn't really disconnect. The last few seconds enhanced. Patsy thought she had hung up the phone.
Patsy.
What was reported to have been heard when the tape was initially enhanced in 1997 was female voice. Help me, Jesus, male voice. We're not speaking to you. So I believe John Ramsey said to Burke, we're not speaking to you. And the child's voice, Burke, what did you find? He was probably asking about the ransom note. What made it significant was that the Ramseys had told the police their son was in bed asleep during this whole ordeal, but he wasn't. He was in the back. The tape shows that was a lie. And that's where we're at, people. Can you contact Wade and tell him about my channel? Listen, I will stop now, guys, but one last thing. How old is your daughter? She's 6 years old. She's blonde, 6 years old. The blonde part. Guys, I'm gonna stop and I'll talk to you next time, okay? Okay, is there anything else you guys wanna? Okay, talk to Wade. If you can reach Wade, I would love to be able to talk to him, and I can make that, in private or via video, or either way. She's blonde. The wrench and the front door. I'll get more into this, guys, for sure. Yeah, if any of you can reach Wade, tell him my email address, and I would love to be able to talk with him. And if I do, if he's willing to talk to me, and you guys know me, I don't reveal any kind of information. I don't reveal my sources. I can also have a conversation and not even mention anything about it, but it'll help me. You understand what I mean? It will help me greatly to be able to understand more about the case. It will help me very, very much. And now, how long have I been doing this now? It's a very long time, right? Yeah, it's 3 hours, guys. I will be back tomorrow, everybody. Have a good night, people. Please send everything my way that you think is interesting and worth looking into it for me. Grandel, are you still there? And if you have a case in Australia where you have a statement, you can send this to me. Any types of statements would be great, people. Any kinds of statements from any case. Every time I have a statement, I got an entry point, and that will be a fast track for me. Fast track ahead, without any need to get too much surrounding information. Good night, people. If you can hit up Wade, tell him I would love to speak with him. And nobody will know we did have a conversation unless he's okay with me mentioning it. But even if I don't mention it, it would help me get a good idea of what exactly went on and can help me lead into the right direction. Good night, people. I see you next time. See you soon.